am the Lord, the keeper of covenant and the giver of wisdom. What I promise, I fulfill. What I begin, I bring to completion. Before Solomon was born, I had already spoken his name into David's heart. He was not merely the son of a king, he was the child of a covenant. For I had told David, "Your house and your kingdom shall be established forever before me. Your throne shall be established forever." And though sorrow had once visited David's house through the death of his first son with Bathsheba, I did not leave them without hope. For out of grief I brought forth grace. In time she bore another son, and I called his name Solomon, the one whom I loved. Through him I would show that my mercy can redeem what sin once broke, and that from the ashes of failure I can still raise a throne of peace. When David grew old and his strength began to fade, he called for Solomon. In the quiet of his chamber, as the torchlight dimmed, the aged King David, once a shepherd and a man after God's own heart, gave his final charge to his son. Be strong and show yourself a man. Keep the charge of the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and his testimonies. David's victories had built a kingdom, but Solomon's obedience would determine its future. For every generation must choose again whether to follow me or to turn aside. When David's days were fulfilled and he rested with his ancestors, I raised up Solomon to sit on his throne. The same hand that guided the sling in the valley of Elah now guided a scepter in Jerusalem. The throne of Israel was secure, not because of armies or alliances, but because I had spoken it into being. Solomon began his reign in humility. He did not trust in his wisdom, for he had none yet. He sought me at Gibeon, the place of sacrifice, and there I appeared to him in a dream by night. Night fell over Gibeon, and the smoke of sacrifice rose like prayer into the heavens. The young king stood among the altars his father once built, and though the crown rested upon his head, his heart trembled beneath its weight. He had inherited a throne, but not yet the wisdom to bear it. And so he sought me, not with the arrogance of kings, but with the awe of a servant who knows his need. I had watched him from his youth, the son of Bathsheba, born not from the perfection of man, but from the persistence of my mercy. In him I desire to show that grace can redeem what sin once scarred. In that quiet night, I drew near. My voice broke through the silence of his thoughts. Ask what I shall give you. The invitation was simple, yet eternal. Every heart I call must answer this same question. What do you truly desire? For the request reveals the ruler of the heart. Solomon knelt within the vision, his words trembling between reverence and wonder. You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth and righteousness of heart. And now you have made me king in his place. But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. He looked not to his crown, nor his armies, nor his wealth, but to me. And from that humility came his request. Give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. He could have asked for victory. I would have granted it. He could have asked for riches. I could have filled his storehouses. He could have asked for long life. I could have stretched his days. But he asked for wisdom, not for his glory, but for mine. And that pleased me greatly. So I said to him, because you have asked this thing, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor riches, nor the life of your enemies, but have asked for understanding to discern justice, behold, I have given you a wise and discerning heart. There has not been anyone like you before, nor shall any arise after you. And I have also given you what you did not ask, riches and honor, so that among kings there shall be none like you all your days. But I added this word of covenant, as I always do with those I love. If you walk in my ways, keeping my commandments as your father David did, then I will lengthen your days. When Solomon awoke, the dream still burned within him, not as a vision of sleep, but as a calling of destiny. He returned to Jerusalem and stood before the Ark of the Covenant, offering sacrifices of peace and thanksgiving. And all Israel began to see the light of wisdom I had placed within him. For wisdom is not the accumulation of knowledge. It is the alignment of the heart with my will. And true understanding is not measured by the mind, but by obedience. That night in Gibeon became the cornerstone of Solomon's reign. It was the moment heaven touched earth through a humble heart. And I, the Lord, delighted to dwell there. In a king who first learned to rule himself before ruling a nation. And soon, the wisdom I placed within Solomon would be tested. For divine gifts are not proven in the silence of prayer, but in the cries of the people. Not long after that night in Gibeon, the sound of a nation's life returned to the courts of Jerusalem. Justice was to be rendered, and upon the throne sat Solomon, still young, yet bearing the weight of my wisdom upon his shoulders. A dispute arose before the throne. Two women, one living child, and one heart-wrenching truth hidden beneath deceit. All of Israel watched as their young king sat in judgment. There, in that moment, heaven's wisdom would speak through human lips, and the nation would know. The God of David now ruled through the mind and heart of his son. Two women stood before him, trembling and desperate. They both claimed the same living child. One truth, one lie, and 1,000 watching eyes. No law could unravel such a tangle. No witness could settle such a wound. But I, who see the secrets of every heart, whispered discernment into my servant's soul. Solomon listened as they pleaded. Each voice cracked with emotion, Each face bore the marks of sleepless nights and buried pain. To judge by sympathy alone would betray justice, and to judge by logic alone would betray mercy. So he spoke what no mortal reason would dare. "Bring me a sword." The court gasped, the women arose, and he said, "Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half to the other." It was not cruelty that moved him, but wisdom. For truth often reveals itself in the shock of the heart. At his word, the true mother's love broke open. She cried out, "O my Lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill him." But the other said, "Let it be neither mine nor yours, but divide it." Then Solomon stood and declared, "Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. She is his mother." And in that moment, all Israel saw that wisdom is not the sharpness of mind, but the discernment of spirit. For true judgment is not found in the cleverness of speech, but in the light that exposes the heart. Solomon did not seek to uncover deceit by force, but to reveal truth through love. For only a mother's heart would rather lose her claim than see her child perish. Thus the people perceived that the wisdom within him was not born of man, but breathed by God. News spread through the land like light breaking through shadow. The people feared their king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do justice. In those days, wisdom found its voice upon the throne of Israel. True wisdom is not proven in a single judgment, but in the harmony of many hearts working as one. I taught Solomon not only to discern right from wrong, but to order his kingdom as heaven orders the stars. He appointed wise men and governors over every tribe, so that justice might flow through Israel like living water. He brought divine order into the kingdom, mirroring how I brought order into creation. Light before day, law before life, peace before plenty. For his governance was not merely political. It was the discipline of a heart aligned with mine. Through Solomon, I gave voice to wisdom, sayings to guide the simple, songs to heal the soul. He spoke 3,000 proverbs and 1,005 songs. People came from every nation to hear him. His words became rivers of counsel, his songs the breath of divine reflection. But behind every proverb was my spirit, teaching Israel that knowledge begins with reverence. And there were many other wonders of wisdom I worked through him. Insights into the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, the creeping things of the earth, and the mysteries of the sea. From the smallest creature to the mightiest mountain, he saw my order written in all creation. But know this, wisdom is not the crown. It is the stewardship of truth. It must be guarded with humility, for the same light that reveals can also blind if pride takes hold. From that day forward, Solomon's fame began to rise. Nations would soon seek his counsel. Rulers would come to hear his words, and the world would marvel at a mind shaped by heaven. Yet I, the Lord, who gave the wisdom, watched not his lips, but his heart. For the test of a gift is not how it begins, but how it endures. In the days that followed, Solomon's wisdom became the melody of Israel, sung in courts, whispered in markets, and echoed in distant lands. Peace settled over the kingdom like dawn after a long night, and prosperity began to bloom in every corner of the land I had promised to Abraham. Yet even as wisdom and wealth grew, a deeper purpose stirred within Solomon's heart, the call to build me a house. David had dreamed of a house for my name, a resting place for the Ark of the Covenant. But his hands had known too much blood. Yet even then I told him, "Your son, who will be born to you, shall be a man of peace. I will give him rest from all his enemies." He shall build a house for my name. Solomon rose in obedience to complete the work his father began. From Lebanon came the cedars of Hiram, king of Tyre, fragrant and strong. From the quarries came stones, cut and dressed in silence, for no sound of hammer or chisel was heard within my holy mountain. Every beam, every ornament, every vessel was shaped with purpose, not merely by the hand of man, but by the wisdom I had given him. 7 years passed as the temple took form, gold glimmering like the morning sun, cherubim spreading their wings above the mercy seat, and walls engraved with palm trees and open flowers, symbols of life in my presence. But what made the temple holy was not its splendor. It was my promise to dwell there. When the final stone was laid, Solomon gathered all Israel. The priests carried the Ark of the Covenant, the sign of my covenant, from the city of David into the holy place. Trumpets sounded, singers lifted their voices, and sacrifices filled the courts. And when the ark found its resting place beneath the wings of the cherubim, a cloud descended, my glory, and filled the temple so that the priests could not stand to minister. For I, the Lord, had come to dwell among my people once more. The glory that once rested upon Sinai now filled the heart of Zion. Then Solomon stood before the altar and lifted his hands toward heaven. He prayed, "O Lord, God of Israel, there is no God like you, in heaven above or on earth beneath, keeping covenant and mercy with your servants who walk before you with all their heart." He spoke of heaven and earth, of justice and forgiveness, of mercy for the sinner who turns again. He prayed for the foreigner who would hear of my name and come to this house to seek me. And I heard every word. When he finished, fire fell from heaven and consumed the offerings, and my glory filled the house again. The people fell upon their faces, saying, "The Lord is good, and his mercy endures forever." That was the day I sealed my covenant with Solomon, a covenant not of stone and gold, but of presence and obedience. And I said to him, "I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. When I withhold the rain or send a plague among my people, If those who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. These were not words for a moment, but a covenant for generations. For I do not dwell in temples made by hands, but in hearts made humble by repentance. My healing does not flow through ritual, but through surrender. When pride falls and prayer rises, I draw near once more. The land is healed when the heart is bowed. For every nation that turns its face toward me will find that I have never turned away. The temple stood as a beacon of covenant, its stones echoing the faithfulness of David, its altar testifying to the mercy that endures forever. But I never desired to dwell in temples made by human hands alone. Even in all its beauty, the temple was only a shadow, a sign pointing to a greater dwelling place. The human heart, made pure by repentance, filled with my spirit, and dedicated to love and obedience. For my true temple is not built with cedar or gold, but with surrender. And I still fill that house, not with smoke, but with my presence. In the days that followed the temple's completion, peace and glory rested upon Israel like morning dew upon the fields. The nations marveled, for never before had such splendor been seen. From the borders of Egypt to the rivers of the north, Solomon's fame spread like light at dawn. His wisdom became a beacon to rulers and seekers alike. And kings sent their emissaries not for war, but for words. I had given him understanding beyond measure, wisdom that shaped justice, governed trade, inspired song, and ordered creation itself. He spoke of cedars and hyssop, of beasts and birds, of the mysteries of life and the rhythm of heaven's design. His words became the proverbs of generations, truth woven with insight, guiding those who sought to live in reverence and peace. From his heart flowed songs of love and longing, echoes of my own desire for communion with my people. He wrote of wisdom as a woman calling in the streets, of life's fleeting vanity beneath the sun, and of love that is stronger than death. For though he ruled with power, his greatest gift was reflection. He saw that everything apart from me fades away. Then came the Queen of Sheba, a monarch from distant lands, drawn by the fragrance of Solomon's fame. She arrived with caravans of gold, spices, and precious stones, but what she sought was not wealth, it was wonder. And when she stood in his courts and heard his words, when she beheld the temple, the servants, and the order of his house, her spirit was overwhelmed. She said, "The half was not told me. Your wisdom and prosperity exceed the fame which I heard." Her praise rose before me, for she had witnessed what the world could not explain. That wisdom born of fear for the Lord is beauty that does not fade. She blessed my name, acknowledging that all Solomon's greatness was a reflection of my favor. And I was pleased, for my purpose was that through Israel, all nations would know my glory. Under Solomon's rule, silver became as common as stones in Jerusalem, and peace filled the land like fragrance fills a garden. Men ate under their vines and fig trees without fear, and the sound of war was forgotten. The temple stood radiant, my name exalted among the nations. It was the golden age of Israel, a glimpse of what the world was meant to be when man walks in harmony with his Creator. Yet even in the midst of plenty, the heart must guard itself. For abundance can lull the soul to sleep, and the blessings meant to draw one closer can become the very things that lead astray. As the kingdom reached its height, a shadow began to form, not in the land, but in the king's own heart. His wisdom was great, yet the whisper of complacency stirred within him. What began in devotion was soon tested by desire. Peace adorned his kingdom, and wisdom crowned his name. But another presence began to whisper in the corridors of his heart. For when the soul grows satisfied with the gifts, it forgets the giver. The king who once rose early to pray now lingered amid comforts that dulled his devotion. He built not only altars for me, but palaces for himself. In seeking peace with nations, he forged alliances with those who did not know my name. Their beauty pleased his eyes, but their gods ensnared his heart. Thus began the subtle drifting of Solomon, the slow turning of affection from the eternal toward the earthly. A quiet shadow fell over the brightness of his reign. It came not through war or famine, but through affection. For the heart does not turn from me in a single step. It drifts. And what begins as affection soon becomes allegiance. Solomon loved many foreign women, daughters of nations I had warned Israel not to join. He said it was for peace, for diplomacy, for unity among kingdoms. But peace built on compromise is a fragile crown. One by one they entered his palace, daughters of Egypt, Moab, Ammon, Sidon, and Hittite blood, each bringing with her the fragrance of foreign gods and the songs of strange worship. Their beauty delighted him, and their words softened his resolve. Slowly, the one who had once built a temple for my name began to build high places for theirs. I had said, "You shall not intermarry with them, for they will surely turn your hearts after their gods." But Solomon clung to them in love. He who once sought wisdom now justified compromise. He who once knelt before my altar now tolerated altars of stone to Chemosh, Molech, and Ashtoreth. Though he still offered sacrifices in my courts, his heart was no longer fully mine. He gave me part of his worship, but not all of his love. I sent prophets to warn him, voices calling out in the hush of his conscience. But the noise of praise and the flattery of men drowned out the whisper of conviction. His wisdom could still judge nations, but it could no longer discern his own drift. For when pride builds palaces in the heart, truth finds no room to dwell. So I said to him, "Because you have done this and have not kept my covenant, I will surely tear the kingdom away from you and give it to your servant. Yet for the sake of David your father, I will not do it in your days, but I will tear it out of the hand of your son. Even in judgment I remembered mercy. For my covenant with David still spoke louder than Solomon's failure. But the peace he had built began to crumble from within. Enemies rose. Hadad from Edom, Rezon from Damascus, and Jeroboam, the servant Solomon exalted, became the seed of division I foretold. Solomon, once the wisest of men, learned the cost of divided love. He had studied knowledge but forgot reverence. He had written, "Above all else, guard your heart." Yet he did not guard his own. As his reign aged, his joy withered. No kingdom, no gold, no wisdom could fill the emptiness left when the heart turns from me. His songs grew quieter, his prayers fewer, his nights longer. He looked upon the splendor of his works and whispered, "Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. For what is man's greatness if it ends in emptiness? What is wisdom if it forgets its source?" Solomon saw that every pursuit apart from me, wealth, pleasure, fame, and power, is but wind chasing wind. The heart that drifts from eternity will always find the world too small to satisfy it. This is the sorrow of Solomon, that a man who once asked for wisdom forgot that true wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. He gained understanding but lost devotion. Yet even then I did not forsake him. For I am faithful, even when my children are not. In his later years, my silence became his teacher. He who once heard my voice in dreams now felt only the ache of distance. But through that silence, he learned again that wisdom without obedience is emptiness, and knowledge without devotion is dust. He remembered the joy of his father David, how a shepherd's song pleased me more than a king's splendor. And from that reflection he wrote for all generations, "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." Thus, the wisest of men became the humblest of confessors. Through repentance, I restored what pride had stolen, the truth that apart from me, all is meaningless. And so, the Golden Age ended not with war, but with reflection. For when the heart of a king drifts, the heart of a nation trembles. Solomon's glory stood tall, but its foundation cracked unseen. Peace gave way to unrest, and unity to division. I had blessed him beyond measure, but his devotion could not sustain the weight of abundance. When Solomon rested with his fathers, his crown passed to Rehoboam, but not the fullness of his kingdom. For the seeds of disobedience had already taken root, and what was once united under wisdom was now torn by pride. The throne of David still stood, yet the heart of Israel was divided. And I, the Lord who had built and blessed, allowed the fracture. Not out of cruelty, but mercy, that a nation might learn again that no kingdom stands secure when its king forgets the King of Kings. When Rehoboam ascended the throne, the people pleaded, "Your father made our yoke heavy. Lighten it, and we will serve you." But he did not seek my counsel. He rejected the wisdom of the elders and listened to the pride of his peers. In arrogance, he answered, "My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions." And in that moment, the kingdom was torn. Israel cried out against Judah, brother against brother. Rehoboam fled to Jerusalem, while Jeroboam reigned in the north. A kingdom divided not by sword alone, but by disobedience. Jeroboam feared his people would return to me if they worshipped in Jerusalem. So he made 2 golden calves and said, "Behold your gods, O Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt." He set one in Bethel and another in Dan, leading the people into sin again. Thus began the years of division and decline, not of enemies without, but of rebellion within. Yet even in their rebellion, I did not withdraw completely. I waited, patient, watching, longing for a generation that would again hear my voice. For when a nation forgets its God, silence becomes its teacher. But my covenant did not die. Though man's faithfulness falters, my word endures. Through the ashes of failure, I was still weaving redemption. The line of David would not end in ruin, but rise again in glory. From the seed of kings and the sorrow of prophets, I was preparing a greater son, one who would not build a temple of stone, but dwell within the hearts of men. His name is Jesus Christ, my beloved Son. The wisdom Solomon lost, Christ would embody. The kingdom that divided, Christ would restore. And the silence that lingered would one day be broken by a cry in Bethlehem, a voice that would make my promise eternal. The kingdom of Solomon faded, yet my promise did not. For I am not bound by the failures of men. I remain faithful even when they are not. What began in David's pasture and Solomon's palace found its glory in a manger. Through generations of kings, some righteous, many rebellious, I preserved the seed of promise. Even as Israel's throne crumbled and her people were carried into exile, my word stood unbroken. Your throne shall be established forever. From ruins I raised a remnant. From rebellion I rekindled hope. And when the fullness of time came, I fulfilled what I had spoken. A son was born in Bethlehem, not clothed in gold like Solomon, but wrapped in swaddling cloth and laid in a manger. He was wisdom incarnate, peace personified, the Word made flesh. Where Solomon built a temple of stone, he would build a living temple of hearts. Where Solomon's wisdom waned, his understanding was eternal. Where Solomon's reign brought fleeting glory, his kingdom would have no end. I had once said, I will be his father, and he shall be my son. That word found its fulfillment in Jesus, the true Son of David, the everlasting King of righteousness and peace. He came not to sit on a throne of ivory, but upon the throne of grace, not to command servants, but to serve, not to multiply gold, but to redeem souls. Through him, my mercy triumphed over judgment. Through him, every shadow found its light. Through him, I proved that my covenant love outlasts the failures of men. And so, the story of Solomon ends not in shame but in grace. For his line became the channel of salvation. From wisdom misunderstood came the wisdom that saves. From a broken kingdom came an unshakable one. This is who I am. I redeem what is lost. I restore what is broken. I keep what I promise. The throne of David stands forever. Not in Jerusalem of old, but in the hearts ruled by my Son, the King of Kings. And through him, the legacy of grace endures to every generation. I still speak through the story of Solomon, for though the centuries have passed, the hearts of men have not changed. You live in an age that exalts knowledge but forgets truth, that multiplies wealth yet hungers for meaning, that builds towers of progress but neglects the foundation of reverence. Remember this: wisdom begins with reverence, not ambition. It is not found in the brilliance of the mind, but in the surrender of the heart. Solomon's downfall did not begin with idols on the hills, but with affection divided within. So it is today. Before sin is visible, compromise is conceived. You pursue pleasure and call it freedom. You chase wealth and call it success. You seek knowledge and call it enlightenment. Yet without me, all of it is vanity. For wisdom without obedience is still rebellion, and greatness without devotion is emptiness dressed in gold. As Solomon himself declared, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. For every pursuit apart from me ends in striving without rest. Peace is not found in possessions, nor joy in achievements, but in the stillness of a heart that knows its maker. True wisdom is not in what man builds, but in whom he abides. For apart from me, even glory turns to dust. When your devotion grows dim and your prayers become routine, your heart begins to drift. Slowly, silently, until you no longer notice how far you've gone. Complacency is the quiet thief of communion. When you stop seeking, you start slipping. When you stop listening, your heart grows dull, and the voice that once stirred your soul becomes faint beneath the noise of self. So it was with Solomon. Wisdom turned to weariness, reverence replaced by reason, until the one who once heard my whisper could no longer feel my nearness. For pride blinds the eyes that once beheld my glory. Ambition deafens the ears that once delighted in my counsel. Power hardens the heart that was meant to stay tender before me. When the soul grows proud, even my silence cannot humble it. And when it grows numb, even my mercy feels distant. Yet I do not withdraw to destroy, but to awaken. For only in the emptiness of self can man remember his need for God. But to the one who humbles himself, who seeks my presence more than power, who hungers not to be admired but to be aligned with my will, I will still give wisdom that cannot be shaken. I will make your heart my dwelling place, and your life a temple of my glory. For true wisdom is not found in crowns or thrones, but in the quiet surrender of a yielded heart. It is the posture of those who kneel when others strive to rise, who choose obedience over opportunity, and faithfulness over fame. The world exalts the loud and the learned, but I look to the contrite, to those whose strength is in their dependence, whose joy is not in riches, but in righteousness. For when pride builds monuments, humility builds altars. And I dwell not in the palaces of the proud, but in the prayers of the broken. So guard your heart, my child. Do not let success make you forget the source, nor let comfort make you careless. Do not let vanity ensnare your soul, for pride is the quiet thief of wisdom. Stay low before me, and I will lift you up. Walk in reverence, and I will surround you with peace. For wisdom that begins in humility will end in glory that does not fade. And if you walk in peace and keep your heart surrendered to me, holding fast to my commandments and walking in my ways, I will sustain the glory I have given you. I will cause your light to endure, and your name to bless generations yet unborn. For I delight not only to crown you with Father, but to make you a vessel through which my goodness flows. The blessings I give are not meant to be stored, but to be poured. that through your faithfulness others may find hope, and nations may see my hand. For when a life is yielded to me, its fruit multiplies beyond its own season. And the one who honors me in the secret place will find me magnified in every place. Remain steadfast, and I will establish you. Walk in truth, and I will surround you with grace. For those who abide in my will become rivers through which my glory runs, ever living, ever giving, never running dry. But to the weary and the forgotten, to the poor in spirit and the broken in heart, hear this. I have not turned my face from you. Though the world measures worth by abundance, I measure hearts by surrender. You who have nothing, come to me, and I will make you rich in mercy. You who have fallen, rise, for grace is stronger than your shame. The hands that built the heavens are stretched toward you still, for I choose the lowly to reveal my strength, and I breathe life into those the world has cast aside. Do not despise small beginnings, for every seed must first die before it bears fruit. The ground of humility is where my kingdom grows. If you will trust me in the shadows, I will bring you into my light. If you cling to my promise, I will rebuild what was broken and write a new name upon your story. For I came not for the righteous, but for the lost. Not for the full, but for the hungry. Not for the crowned, but for the crushed. And those who rest in me shall rise, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit. The story of Solomon is not just history. It is a mirror. Look into it and see. I am not calling you to brilliance, but to faithfulness. Not to build monuments, but to build altars. Altars of devotion, humility, and trust. Not to boast in wisdom, but to walk in wonder. For true wisdom is not what you know, it is whom you trust. And those who trust in me will never be left in darkness. For my light still shines upon the hearts that are wholly mine. And now, my child, I ask you the same question I asked long ago. What do you truly desire? Will you seek the treasures that fade, or the presence that endures forever? Will you ask for what pleases the world, or for the heart that pleases me? For every soul I call must answer, not with lips, but with life. Those who seek me above all will find that nothing is lost in my hands. I am the portion that never withers, the wisdom that never fails, the peace that remains when all else passes away. If you will desire me above gain, you will find that I am both the giver and the gift. Ask, and I will give you not merely blessings, but myself, the fountain of life, the joy unending, the treasure beyond measure. So I ask again, what do you truly desire?